Hi, it's your favourite Atomic Blonde here with some more Pop Chat. Well, hello everyone. Yes, I finally found some time to do a little bit of Pop Chat with you. I've literally got my dinner bubbling away on the hob over there. The bolognese, the bog of the spag is underway. So I thought I'd kill some time by jumping on and listening to my nonsense and ramblings and musings about what's currently going on in the news. So first up this week, wow, not a shock to anybody, shock. The Margot Robbie Pirates of the Caribbean cancelled by Warner Brothers. The sequel that nobody asked for, nobody wanted, has been cancelled. Oh, I mean, you got to feel sorry for Margot. You know, nothing against her personally. I think she's a good actress. You know, her playing Harley Quinn has been a bit hit and miss depending on the material she's given. They said about Birds of Prey, the better. But yeah, I mean, come on, just nobody wanted this. It was trying to make a point. You know, Warner's have seen, you know, the reaction to Johnny winning the trial against you know who, and they just know they'd be crazy, absolutely crazy to try and put this film out, especially with him like being found, you know, not guilty. Who knows whether there's another Johnny Pirates in the running? They'd have to eat so much crow, and you know, they just have to reverse a dumper truck up to his house full of cash. And even then, with his 300 alpacas, I'm not sure he'd want to do another movie, and I don't blame him. But yeah, so just another domino has fallen in these female-led films. So yeah, interesting times again. Zaslav is not showing that he's showing that he's not afraid to you know, go against popular opinion. He doesn't care, you know, whether it's female-led. I don't think he'd care if it was announced with Johnny Depp, and if Johnny Depp had lost the trial, he would have cancelled it. You know, he's all about making the money. Warner's in dire straits, and he needs to put his money on dead certs like Superman and not this stuff. So another good result. Thank you, Mr. Zaslav. Let's hope we can say it doesn't rub off on Disney and the good old MCU. Oh, so moving on to this little article, and shout out to Giant Freaking Robot who broke the story, and I know George the Giant Slayer, George, covered it on his channel, so kudos to those guys. But yeah, really interesting times where you've got Amazon, who's just, you know, this huge corporation, literally bribing people with food vouchers to watch Lord of the Rings. Or sorry, Rings of Power. We shouldn't use those two phrases in the same sentence. Absolutely hilarious. I just yeah, it just boggles the mind. And again, I think, as I said in one of my previous streams, it's just the sheer hypocrisy of it all, that they still sit there and tell us what a triumph it was and how amazing it was and how many people watch this show. And literally in the next breath, in Brazil, you get a coupon for iFood, which you can download once you've watched the first episode. Again, just so they can bolster up those numbers, or in a year's time turn and go, see, people were watching it. See, we weren't lying, after they've bribed God knows how many people to actually watch this dire show. So let's hope the rumours are true in terms of giving the current showrunners a back seat and actually getting some people in that know how to write. And not just write, but, you know, honour the source material. And, you know, I'm not too fussed about what colour the characters are, if I'm honest with you. I am from the UK. It was written as a mythology for England before the Dark Ages. And obviously before the Dark Ages, we were a Caucasian country. Just historic fact, you know, unfortunately. But personally, I don't mind if they introduce, people of color playing the characters if it makes sense, and just get on with it. And they're good characters, they're engaging characters, that maybe they're funny characters. I don't care, but give us something good, give us something entertaining, and also show some respect to those actors, rather than just sticking them in a role that's not fleshed out, that in a dire show, because actually it doesn't matter how crap the show is, we've got a female lead and we've got people of color in it, and just sort of hanging them out to dry. They talk about throw people under the bus. I mean, and then sort of wheel out the cast periodically to then talk about all the ideology and how stunning and brave they all are, just making them look like bigger idiots. So hopefully the cast that deserve to be there, the cast that can actually act, will get some decent material to act with. And I think we all know which character we'd like to see recast or sort of killed off and brought back in some magical guise. And vote for Gandalf. Sure we can do it for old Guy Ladriel. But I just thought this was absolutely hilarious. When you've got corporations the size of Amazon literally bribing people to watch their flagship show, you're in serious amounts of trouble. Talk about the Titanic of shows. Absolutely hilarious and tragic. Oh, what else have we got? Oh, good old, so talking of MCU, you knew it was going to happen. These scores are just absolutely hilarious, depending on which one you toggle on. So you've got top critics score of 84, an audience score of 94. But when you flip it to top critics, it drops to 74. And normally you'd expect the top critics to actually have the higher score, because they're the ones that all get to, see it in advance and don't want to give up their shield card. So for it to actually be lower than the all critics score is quite interesting. Also, from the verified audience, it drops to 85. So people have actually seen it, give it a lower score to people who apparently haven't seen it. But of course, nobody review bombs positively. No, nobody does that. People only ever review bomb negatively, so we're told. But either way, it was 74, 85, 84, 94. These scores just don't seem to reflect, what we're hearing about the film, about it's just disjointed, it's boring. All the female characters are literally written the same. I'll be honest, I haven't been to see it. I've got no interest in seeing it. Even when it comes on Disney Plus, I'm not sure I'll bother. I still haven't bothered watching Eternals. No interest at all. Not watched Thor, and I love the Thor series. I was one of those people who actually liked both the first and second Thor films. I know they had a bit of controversy around them, but you watch them now compared to, Love and Thunder. Oh my days. I mean, again, that just looks so trashy that I just thought, I'm not going to put myself through it. I'm just going to remember Thor 1, 2, and 3 as an Avenger. I'm not having that taken away from me. And this kind of just falls into that category. The only sort of Marvel film I'm remotely interested in seeing is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. The rest of the films coming up, not interested. TV shows, Secret Invasion, I'll probably give that a whirl just for Samuel. But otherwise, I mean, I think we're all this far from, black pilling Marvel. Lucas is out the door. I gave up on Andor after 6 episodes. Oh my God, that was so boring. And it was such a waste of a show. Such a waste of a show that, again, you had great actors like Stellan Skarsgård. It filmed on location, not in the volume. It looked great. But, just nothing happened. And I'm like, I think episode 10 have gone, this is the best episode yet, or the best episode ever in Star Wars. And it might be, but hey, I'd wait until the whole lot's dropped and then maybe sort of binge and skip through. But blimey, Disney are in a bad, bad place. And as we saw on Monday, there was a 73% drop off. Obviously, it's a Monday, not a weekend, but that is way higher than anybody was expecting. this doesn't bode well for this weekend. But this, I mean, I got this, I think, on Tuesday. I've sort of seen a few things today that they're actually like projecting maybe they'll have a better second weekend than they thought. Might have, total revenue of 500 million. We'll have to see. But I think certainly through word of mouth, people aren't going to go see this film. Everything we've heard is it's just with Moore and just total trash and insulting, really. And I think that the most heartbreaking thing about it is just crapping all over Chadwick Boseman's legacy at the end of the day. I think if they weren't comfortable with recasting him because it was too soon, then they should have just put the film back, maybe left it another year, then recast him, and then do the original story they were planning on doing. But just completely disregarding this popular character and a black character and strong black man, just been completely just swept to the wayside. I mean, in fairness, I've heard that when they do honor him, start and end of the film, that is respectful, but then the rest of it is just completely out the window. So whether this is one of the final nails in the coffin, I guess only time will tell. But yeah, I don't think anybody's really interested in Marvel right now. They've shot themselves in the foot, with the fans that they've attracted, basically telling certain coloured skinned people not to go watch this film or don't go watch it on the opening weekend. We've seen a 50% drop in said coloured people going to see the film. You reap what you sow. I don't know. I don't want to get too much. I don't know massive sort of politics on this channel, but yeah, it's just Disney being Disney, and we just got another pile of crap by all accounts. So very disappointing. But does that mean that we are overall going to start to see the tide turning? Certainly, obviously, what's going on at Warner Brothers and Zaslav. I think all it'll take really, but if you start getting some decent TV shows coming out of Warner Brothers, now they've sort of binned off the CW, sold off the CW, and pretty much their whole slate has been cancelled. Even the sort of the one sort of fairly decent ratings they had, which was Walker, which obviously was Jared Padalecki, that doesn't appear to be being picked up for another season. And the recent show by Jared, the Winchesters, is not being picked up after its 13 episode run. I haven't actually looked at the numbers of those, so I don't know what they were doing, but I think they were probably the only sort of really strong shows that the CW had left. So talk about cleaning house. I mean, it's a bit of a strange one to buy a network and then just cancel all the shows. I'm not really sure what was the point of buying the network, but maybe there's some reruns back in the dark distant past that they were after, or some IPs. I don't know. Again, we will see. So yeah, I mean, I think if Zaslav and Warner Brothers managed to roll out, 3 or 4 decent, big hitting films, that could be the thing that just finally topples it. Hollywood is feeling the pinch as much as they're trying to say that they're not, even though the numbers, we've had the numbers from Disney, we've had the numbers from Netflix, we've had the numbers from Warner Brothers. Prices just keep going up with Disney. In terms of the parks, we're seeing the Star Wars element of Disney parks with the Galaxy's Edge absolutely imploding. The Galaxy Cruiser, they've laid off something like 50% of the staff. They just haven't got the bookings. And going into current climate, hiking prices, we've officially got into recession here in the UK. And we had a sort of mini budget today that's got, I don't know how many that makes this year. It's absolutely ridiculous, with massive tax price, hikes, which is not good. But the point is, like, who can afford $6,000 for 2 nights in a crappy Star Cruiser watching characters from the sequel trilogy that nobody's interested in? They just cannot continue to sustain this model. It's just absolutely insane. So yeah, time will tell. Sorry, I'm hiccuping because I'm getting a bit hungry and I can smell my bolognese. Yeah, but yeah, time will tell how it's all going to play out. Disney, we all know, will be the last one to change course. If they ever do, they might just dial it down to an 11 for where they are, but I don't think you're going to get a full U-turn from them. But it might open the door for some other players to sort of come back in. But we just don't have that many all the studios are kind of bought each other out. Be interesting to see what they do with or MGM does with James Bond. Obviously, there's lots of rumors that they were talking about a female James Bond. That seems to have gone a bit quiet. Does sort of the bookies and things were saying that it's looking much more, and I think what Barbara Broccoli said was a much more, pretty much saying a man, but reimagining for modern times. The whole reason we love Bond is because he's not modern times. I mean, yeah, you don't want Bond going around slapping women and shagging everyone into oblivion, but at the same time, you want the guy to have some balls and go out there and not walk around sort of pouting and being depressed and feeling sorry for himself all the time. I mean, geez, who wants to go see that? So again, I think a lot of people are going to be sitting on the fence for a little while, see how the releases start going in 2023. We've all got they've all got Top Gun Maverick as the poster child of this is what people want to go see, strangely enough, sort of balls to the wall action and just fun and no lecturing, going back to the 80s. And I think there will be a trend. We've got John Wick 4 coming out, which the trailer looks amazing for. I'm really excited for that. 1 and 2, we've kind of, we're good. One was brilliant, 2 was good, 3 was but still watchable. But 4, based on the trailer, could be the comeback kid, the same as we saw for Stranger Things season 4. Knocked it out the park, take a little bit of time, reset, go. So yeah, I would like to sort of say John Wick coming out again, hopefully being a bit more alpha male. And we've also got, obviously, again, Tom Cruise again with Mission Impossible Part 1. I don't know if Part 2 is also coming out next year, maybe the tail end. But, if we're going to have a slight, shift back to, some good action films, maybe some comedies, it'd be just nice to have genres back in the cinema, rather than superhero. I mean, I love my superhero films, but superhero film. What else? Occasional sci-fi film, but even that. I mean, Star Wars managed to kill the Star Wars trilogy or the Star Wars films dead, but I think it's also caused sci-fi films to stop dead in theaters because people like what studios are like, oh, nobody wants to go see sci-fi. It's like, no, we want to go see sci-fi. We just want to see decent sci-fi, well-written sci-fi. Like, we want to see a decent, well-written superhero film. We want to see a decent action film. We're just fed up of being spoon-fed rubbish that's just full of American politics, quite frankly, that the rest of the world doesn't give a flying hoot about. And, men being men and women being women. And, just cracking on. And that doesn't mean you can't have, diverse people or gay people. There's lots of gay men who are just as, alpha as the next man. They don't all have to be, camp and mincing around the screen. That stereotype is, should be gone. There's lots of, good male gay actors out there who you wouldn't know unless you were told, I mean, anyway. But, let's just see where because I think, what you don't want is too much of a backlash and we start going, too far backwards, but we just need balance. We've just lost all balance. So, but the slate so far for 2023, there's some optimism in there. There's some good stuff coming up with the action films. Horror seems to be picking up again as well. It's always like horror's always like one of the last bastions of sort of politics kept at the door because anything goes in horror films, and some horror films should be there to shock you and maybe even offend you a little bit. Just saying. But it's great. We've got a couple of like Christmas horror films coming up, which will be great. So I'm looking forward to those as well. So as to go with my usual round of the Christmas films. So yeah, it's the countdown to Christmas now, I guess. Obviously we've got Spirited. I think that's out now. Now my rule is no Christmas films to the 1st of December. So once that clocks round, I can have a watch of Spirited and let you know what I think. I'm a bit on the fence with this one, I have to say. I'm not sure if it's if it's going to be funny at all, or it's just going to be way too much dialed up. Will and Ryan together could just be like just too much for the cringe glands to take. But again, we will see. So that's pretty much it. I said it'd be a quick one while my tea's cooking. So just a few things that caught my eye this week. And I will hopefully be back next week with more Pop Chat if real life stops getting in the way and actually lets me have some time to do these vids. But anyway, I'll be back on Sunday with my nerdy weekly roundup, where I'll be talking about The Peripheral and the new show on Netflix, 1899, that I'm very, very intrigued to see. That dropped today. So I need to get me the watchers on and get up to speed before Sunday on that one. So anyway, have a great weekend coming up. So rest of your week, but that's only tomorrow. But so have a great weekend. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.